Gatlinburg, Tennessee, gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. A place to vacation for some, a place to call home for others. Special memories have been made in this quaint southern city for decades.
This is a WATE 6 on your side special report.
We are now being told because of a fire near Gatlinburg that downtown Gatlinburg is under mandatory evacuations.
These images coming out of there, incredible, as more than 100 homes and businesses are still burning.
An all-out firefight continuing this morning in the town of Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Wildfires fueled by record dry conditions. They are burning through the Great Smoky Mountains and threatening cities and tourist sites.
November 28, 2016, devastating wildfires rained down from those beloved mountains. 14 people died and over 2,400 structures were damaged or destroyed. Sevier County suffered an estimated $500 million in damages. The night of the fires, employees from the Tennessee Department of Transportation used their skills and experience to clear roadways and to assist other emergency response crews. They risked their own lives to save the lives of others. This is their story.
I was at work here in Knoxville, worked a normal day on Monday and really didn't think much of it. And we started hearing some stuff about a lot of smoke in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and in Sevierville.
A couple days prior, there was a fire up on the chimneys, but I thought it was far enough away and it was pretty well contained that it wasn't going to be a problem.
We knew about the fire, knew that it was going on, but didn't really have any serious concerns and no roadway related issues that we were really considering having an impact for us. Felt like everything was fine.
I had went into Gatlinburg earlier that day because of the wind. That was our main concern, was trees being down on the state routes.
We was out cutting trees, trying to keep the road open, and then got a call that they may be, might need to evacuate Gatlinburg.
I spoke with the Greg Miller, the fire chief for the city of Gatlinburg, and his voice was shaking, and he was upset when I talked to him on the phone. He said, "I need help." He said, "There are trees down everywhere, they're on fire, we can't get people out." And I said, "Well, what can we do?" And he said, I need the roads open. We've got to be able to get people out of Gatlinburg." Once I started going up the spur, I ran into traffic coming the wrong way back at me, coming out of Gatlinburg, and they were flying. And so that's when I really started to worry.
I got to the spur, which is the road between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and we pulled up right at the spur coming out of Pigeon Forge, and I looked over and the whole mountainside's on fire, and that's when I realized, oh man, this is not good.
We train for emergencies. We train for clearing roads in emergencies. We train for getting roads back open when they're closed. What you don't train for is, the life or death situation, the realization that, you're in a real emergency and it's ongoing. This isn't the aftermath, this isn't the cleanup, you're right in the middle of it.
Power lines, light poles are burning. You got a tandem piece of equipment that you are driving, trying to get through under power lines and trying to get through to try to get trees out of people's way so they could get out of there. It was scary, but I knew it was something that had to be done because you're dealing with people's lives up there, so you didn't want to not do it.
Getting out of the truck to cut a tree, you'd have to walk backwards because the wind would be blowing the embers and the wood chips and everything in your eye, and you about get knocked over. The wind was so strong. I think they said it was 80-something mile per hour gusts, and I believe that.
Got out up there at one point, and it's heavy and thick, but the smell of propane was real heavy in the air, and I was kind of like, is this like this whole mountain's going to explode or something? But
I grew up in Gatlinburg, so I was definitely full of emotions besides being a little frightened.
I was expecting the worst, and when I got there, I seen some pretty bad things: buildings, cars, ambulances, police everywhere. It was chaotic. There's fire all around us. It's hot, it's smoky. Everybody's panicking, freaking out, trying to find a way. So you've got to have the courage to do what you do. and that's to move trees at any cost, any way possible.
We went on up just past Wiley Oakley, past the Gatlinburg Visitor Center, and all of a sudden we see another big tree. We saw the tree come down, and it was a big evergreen. It was a really big tree. That was when it hit me how bad the situation was. I'm standing there and I can't see 100 feet in front of me probably because of the smoke. That was as scared as I've ever been, I guess, on the job at TDOT. So, you know, the firefighters are trying to cut the tree out of the road. They get 2 or 3 chainsaws stuck in the tree because it's flexing so much because of the way the wind's blowing. My contractor pulled up and said there was a tree down behind us. So at that point we were blocked in, had a tree down in front, had a tree down behind. And I'm trying to start my chainsaw and I hear a horn blow or I saw flashing lights or something, and I turn around and there's the TDOT dump truck, and that was Bradley in his dump truck. And I got up on it and I said, you know, I don't care what happens to the truck, to their plow, get the tree out of the road. We've got to get all these folks to Gatlinburg.
That was a scary moment. There was an oak tree probably 4 or 5 foot around, and I had to use my plow as a weapon to move the tree. You know, chainsaws was hung up. There was no other way to get around it but to use a plow truck. And it was, in my eyes, it was scary. I was scared, just like everybody else. But I done what the duty calls for.
Bradley had to hit the truck, or the tree, 3 times with the truck to get it to move. He hit it he backed up about 10 feet and pushed it and it wouldn't move, and about 20 feet and pushed it, wouldn't move. The last time he backed up and got a little run and go and hit the tree, broke the snowplow, broke at least the hydraulic lines on the snowplow. The plow was actually dragging after he pushed the tree out of the road, and then there were sparks flying from the plow where it was dragging the road all the way to Gatlinburg, but we made it.
I'm going on 42 years with TDOT. I've never been through nothing like this before. I mean, I've been where houses are burned or buildings burn, but now not where it's burning on both sides of you. And you can feel the heat inside a piece of equipment, and you can feel the heat off of it. You so far from it, you know. It's not in the road where you were at, but it's so close. You can feel the heat. You just, you know, hoping that your equipment don't tire up on you, because if equipment tires up on you, you got to get out on foot.
You know, you were rescuing folks, but you were also rescuing rescuers. You know, they needed us to be able to get in and out. They needed us to be able to keep the roadways clear to evacuate. They needed us to be able to clear roadways to gain access, to get to where they needed to fight a fire or to rescue a group of people that were stranded. So
I was loading trees and stuff the next day coming down the spur, and I loaded people that I didn't know what county they was from, but you know, they put their tailgates down, backed right up. They trusted me and I trusted them. They wasn't going to back a tree or back into me, and so we worked all week together.
People don't think about it, but you've got to have fuel for all your fire trucks to run. We hauled a 3,000 and a 1,000 gallon fuel tank up and set up a mobile refueling station, and we had pickup trucks with 100-gallon fuel tanks in the back of them, running it out to fire trucks that were actively fighting fires. We kept 2 mechanic trucks on staff most of the time. We kept one 24/7 to make sure everybody stayed running.
It's a very unusual request for us, you know, to keep roads clear during an active forest fire. Just kind of goes to show the transportation is emergency service function 1 in the kind of the hierarchy of the your emergency response. And if you can't get there, no matter how well of a planned response you have, if you can't get to the folks that need the help, it just doesn't do anybody any good.
it's not in your job description. It's not what you're expecting to be able, you know, when you read the script of what you normally do every day. But when the time calls, they answer the call.
I have never been as proud of the organization I work for, or the people I work with, as I have those 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. That was the people in operations in District 18. I have never been so proud to work with the folks that I work with.
I hate that it happened, and I would never want it to happen again, but I honestly feel like the death toll would have risen significantly if TDOT wasn't there keeping the roads open, because I've seen firsthand how bad it was, and there's no way you can know, but I know we saved people, and it was a good thing we were there.
I'm very proud. Say I work for Tennessee Department of Transportation. We're here to protect and serve, just like first responders. If the road's closed, we open it. We might not be the first ones there, but we'll be there until everything is open and ready to go. That's what we do. That's our #1 goal. Make sure everybody on the roadway is safe.
It's a new season in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and the scenery is changing. Amidst the trees and trails that were untouched by fire are the sounds of rebuilding, where flames ravaged earth, homes, and businesses. The men and women of TDOT are hard at work too, building and maintaining the state's transportation system and ready to answer the next call to action. For throughout the department's history, through fire and ice, wind and water, TDOT has always been there and will continue to be there whenever and wherever there is a need.